out of the box or out of the wall, whatever you want to call it, we have Despicable Me 2. And oh yes, we are. We are going back in the 3D world because we can and will. Even though the third one, you'll see why we can't. But anyway, the second one, new villain. Is Gru still a villain, or is he figuring out what he should do with his little girls? You see that right there? Oh yeah, that blowy thing for birthday parties. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Chase Lee Hockey, here's the Blue Futon reviewing Despicable Me 2. So what's about? Pretty simple premise. Gru is stop the villainy antics. He's like, I'm done with being a villain. But the anti-villain group is hiring Gru to find a villain who has this weird purple serum that could and just make people into indestructible metal-eating monsters that can destroy the world. But now he's got to figure out these girls and boys and just other interesting things that are about to occur. So, did I like this one? Let's talk about the 3D first. Again, just like the first one, they knew exactly what to do to make the 3D pop, to make it pop out, to have depth, to absolutely have a bonkersness to it. The noses, the bubbles, just things are thrown at you. So many things are thrown at you in this movie. Not like physically, but like, just a perspective that is a 5-star 3D experience. So both Despicable Me 1 and 2 are absolutely fantastically shot movies when it comes to the 3D effect. And of course, this was the time when 3D was still really, really popping and people really enjoyed it. I know some people never like 3D, but I'm still a sucker. I really enjoy the 3D experience. So talking about the movie itself, I know when I finished reviewing the first one, I think I said I preferred the second one over the first one. But the more I think about it, they might be on the same playing field, but nothing too ridiculously over the top. Because this one, it is longer, but I want to say about 10-ish minutes. You do have a lot more dialogue. You do have a lot more dynamics with the kids, with Gru, with all the different characters. Because, of course, like we're adding a new secret agent who's voiced by Kristen Wiig. We still have the kids, and like I said, now they're kind of getting out of their shells. Boys are coming to play. We have more interesting dynamics of why Gru is single and why he doesn't like women. Okay, that's not the right word. Why he's scared of women. And we do get just more antics with the minions and things that are occurring throughout the story. So it is a fine movie. Like I said, kids will enjoy the living poop out of this one. It is straight up fart jokes. It is straight up just ridiculous antics with the minions. And like I said, once Universal realized that the minions were this big, they said this is a billion-dollar industry. Just Despicable Me alone. Now it has rides. Now every time you go to Universal Studios, there's going to be minions everywhere you go. I know Shrek was the reasoning for Universal. Move over Shrek, unless Shrek comes back with Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy. Despicable Me will probably have the reins on Universal. Because, of course, I think it was this one, too, where the minions run into a duck. And I'm thinking, migration. Like, I don't know if it was on purpose. Of course, it wasn't on purpose. But I'm guessing someone rewatched one of these Despicable Me movies and realized, wait a minute, there's a duck migration, and they're going to connect it somehow. And I know other Illumination movies like that really do work. Like Puss in Boots, even though that's not Illumination, that's DreamWorks. Whether Illumination movie is there, oh yeah, Sing, that wasn't in this one. Sing was in the third Despicable Me 3. So I think they're going to try to connect all of them, just not, to say, oh, we're going to have a crossover of Sing, Migration, Despicable Me. No, I just think they're just saying, hey, we're all in the same universe, and that's about it. But, like I said, if your kids want to be entertained for an hour and a half, I think they'll be more entertained with the first one because it is shorter, it's less dialogue, and this one does have a little bit more antics with the minions turning purple, and that's a fine storyline, but I feel like it didn't, it was like, okay. And I also realized with a lot of these movies, the third act fight scenes are very anticlimactic. Like, there's no, oh no, this person's gonna fail. Like, Gru's gonna fail. It does feel that way in the third one, just a little bit, what happens with the laser, and we'll discuss that later. But when rewatching, like, the Vector, the Despicable Me 1 bad guy, and Despicable Me 2 bad guy, the El Macho or Mucho, it was just more of like, oh, they're the bad guys, and it's going to quickly be over, and the people that had to change their heart in a heartbeat, and there is no climatic experience with it. So overall, Despicable Me 2, if I'm comparing watching this one or the first one, I'm gonna say the first one just by a hair, because this one does feel a little bit longer. The antics of the minions are still there. It's still fun. But you know what? I still had a fun little time watching Despicable Me 2 in 3D. So Despicable Me 2 will receive a 3.5 out of 5 blue futons, which equals that 70%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. So you have critics a 75% with 178 of them. Audience score at 85% with over 250,000. Critic consensus. Despicable Me 2 offers plenty of eye-popping visuals, inventiveness, and a number of big laughs. It is a fun little time, I'll give it that. But looking at, so the critics went down. However, the audience score went up by 2. I can kind of see that. And the critic scores only went down 5%, so it was nothing, drastic. So it's pretty on even playing field. Chase Leak here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing is Bluetoontopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day. And let's just be honest, you know what's gonna happen next.